We know you've been waiting, and your full Great Outdoors Comedy Festival lineup is here. On September 11th through 13th at Arundel Park, comedy superstars John Mulaney with Nick Kroll, Mike Birbiglia and Fred Armisen, Adam Ray as Dr. Phil Live with Miss Pat and TJ Miller, Hassan Minhaj and Ronnie Chang with Michael Costa and more hit the stage. 3 nights, 5 shows, huge laughs. September 11th through 13th. Buy tickets now at GreatOutdoorsComedyFestival.com.
Support for this show comes from the Working Forests Initiative. The working forest industry is committed to planting more trees than they harvest. More than 1 billion seedlings are planted in U.S. working forests every year. From biologists to GIS analysts, hiring managers, accountants, working forest professionals have dedicated their focus towards sustainability, using their expertise to help ensure a healthy future for America's forests. They say they don't just plan for the future, they plant it. You can learn more at workingforestinitiative.com.
Searchlight Pictures presents In the Blink of an Eye on Hulu on Disney+, a sweeping science fiction drama spanning the Stone Age, the present day, and the distant future, about the essence of what it means to be human, regardless of our place in history. The film is directed by Oscar-winning filmmaker Andrew Stanton and stars Rashida Jones, Kate McKinnon, and Daveed Diggs. Stream In the Blink of an Eye now only on Hulu on Disney+. Sign up at disneyplus.com.
Okay, it's unexplainable. I'm Noam Hassenfeld. And how should we introduce you?
Why don't you introduce me or my friend? You're the reason we're here. You're the one who dragged me out of whatever I was supposed to be doing today to come in and tape this.
This is true.
The least you can do.
Ian Koss, reporter, producer, host at GBH News in Boston. Is that it?
Nailed it. And also currently the host of the new series, Catching the Godfather.
Yeah, the Godfather. This is what you've been telling me about like every single time I see you recently.
This is what I tell everybody about when they ask me, hey, so what are you working on lately? Have I mentioned the Godfather?
So who is the Godfather?
So the Godfather is a very controversial and divisive figure in the fishing port of New Bedford, Massachusetts.
The American dream, it's a certain amount of sacrifice you gotta make. And it's a luck bullshit. You have to go look for luck. Luck doesn't come to you.
So his real name is Carlos Rafael. He's a fishing mogul. And about 10 years ago, the fishing industry in New Bedford was really in rough shape. The regulations around fishing were very tight. The science was saying the fish stocks were in poor shape. And yet, Carlos, the Godfather, continued to thrive. He continued to buy more boats. He continued to make money.
I gotta do what I gotta do. I'm gonna survive.
So there was a lot of intrigue around what he was really up to.
With a name like the Godfather, I mean, it's all got to be above board, right?
Yeah, and it didn't help that people around town called him the Godfather.
We're gonna have to call him the Godfather. And the stupid shit stuck.
So eyebrows are raised, suspicions are aroused, and this team of IRS investigators, they pose as Russian businessmen and offer to buy the business of Carlos Seafood.
To try and figure out what he's up to?
Yeah, to figure out where the money's coming from.
Hi, this is Eusebio.
How you doing?
That's the salesman.
How's it going?
That's where.
Okay, hello.
That's up. That's a big guy.
They show up in their full getup, Rolex watches, pinky rings.
Hi, it's Ira Plato, and this is Science Friday. Today on the podcast, trying to untangle the genetic factors involved in Alzheimer's disease. Although the exact mechanism of the illness is still a mystery, researchers hope work like this could point to new areas to study and maybe potential treatments. Joining me now is Dr. Dylan Williams. He's Principal Research Fellow in Molecular and Genetic Epidemiology at University College London in the UK. Welcome to Science Friday.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be speaking to you.
Thank you. You're looking at variations, if I understand it, in one specific gene called APOE. What does that gene do normally? Why are you looking at that?
So its background, this protein, apolipoprotein E, or ApoE for short, is a small protein which has a well-established role in shuttling fat around the body. And we also know it has diverse roles in the brain. People can inherit one of three types of the gene, which we refer to as E2, E3, and E4. And so we've known for about 30 years that the risk of Alzheimer's disease differs between people depending on which type of ApoE gene they inherit. E2 is low risk, E3 is medium risk, and E4 is high risk. And this gradient of risk is common knowledge amongst Alzheimer's disease researchers. However, knowledge of this gradient alone doesn't tell us ApoE's full importance. And to grasp that, I think we need to answer what is, at face value, a fairly simple question. So, what proportion of Alzheimer's disease cases would not occur without the impact of the medium and the high risk forms of the gene? In other words,
Hey, I'm Flora Lichtman, and you're listening to Science Friday. Put down those cheese curls because ultra-processed foods, UPFs, are back in the news. Those highly processed, often delicious, foods make up a big part of the average American diet, and they've been getting lots of attention from policymakers who want to limit how much of them we eat. Even the new federal dietary guidelines suggest avoiding these foods. Here's Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. on what you should be eating instead.
Protein and healthy fats are essential and were wrongly discouraged in prior dietary guidelines.
Feeling a little frazzled as 2025 comes to a close? Put your to-do list on pause and join me for an evening of science, storytelling, and connection. I'm bringing Hidden Brain's Perceptions Tour to the Orpheum Theater in Los Angeles on November 22nd. I'll be sharing 7 key psychological insights from the first decade of the show. To get your tickets, go to hiddenbrain.org/tour. I'm also excited to announce that we are adding more dates to the tour for 2026. I'll be in Philadelphia on March 21st and New York City on March 25th. Hidden Brain listeners get first crack at tickets to those shows. The pre-sale begins at 3 p.m. Eastern on November 3rd and runs through November 5th. To get your tickets to our 2026 shows, go to hiddenbrain.org/tour and use the promo code BRAIN. No promo code is needed after November 5th. I hope to see you there. And here's today's show. This is Hidden Brain. I'm Shankar Vedant. When we're facing struggles with our thoughts or our emotions, many of us turn first to medication or therapy as solutions. The share of American adults reporting they took prescription drugs for